how could Trump be such a free speech enthusiast and allowing these things to happen, going after college universities, trying to suppress speech while pretending that you're not suppressing speech, while pretending that you're fighting DEI? It's so messy. It's so obvious. Everyone knows what you're doing.
Is what Harvard is doing. Candace Owens said that Trump was violating free speech. Anti-Semitism is not free speech. These protesters were not just saying things on campus. They were intimidating students. That would be like a white KKK group getting in front of a all-black college or going to a college and blocking them from their campus, yelling you N-word. That should not be free speech. You cannot stop people from going to class.
What's going on, guys? We got to talk about Candace Owens disagreeing with Trump on this whole Harvard defunding for their anti-Semitism on college campus. So there's a lot of colleges that were involved in this. So it wasn't just Harvard, but Harvard has effectively been kind of the line in the sand who was fighting back against Trump. They're filing a lawsuit against him because of the demands they don't want to comply in their funding's being taken. Now, is this going to prevent their funding from being taken? No, I mean, there's pretty much no circumstance where I see that happening. However, I do think that the tax exempt status is here to stay. I don't think Donald Trump is going to be able to take away their tax exempt status because they just simply qualify being an educational institution. Most of them do qualify for tax exempt status, and Harvard's probably not going to be an exception to that. That said, Candace Owens has a problem with this because she says it's infringing upon people's freedom of speech. Now, in general, I agree with Candace Owens, so this is not an attack video on Candace Owens. Candace Owens seems like she's an awesome person. I actually really want to meet Candace Owens at some point, chop it up, have a quick conversation, handshake, whatever. But she gets it very wrong sometimes. And in my opinion, this is one of those scenarios because this wasn't just hate speech. I mean, these people were literally threatening Jewish students, threatening violence, committing violence, spitting on people, preventing people from attending classes. This included professors, all different types of faculty and staff, students. I mean, this is totally out of control, and Harvard didn't do anything about it. In some cases, even was supporting the students more, even when the police showed up to try to get some of this stuff under control. Some of the universities just kind of got more so in the way of the police rather than the crazy deranged students, and including violence. Like some teachers got in the way and started fighting with the police. It was so freaking ridiculous. So I absolutely think that there needs to be a very, very serious crackdown. You want to start at the top and then negotiate downward. Don't start at the bottom and try to negotiate upward. Like, would you put in an offer letter? If somebody asks you what your starting salary is going to be, are you going to tell them, hey, I want $20 an hour so they can offer you 15? Or are you going to tell them I want 40 so that they'll offer you 35? But let's go ahead and react to what Candace Owens has to say about this.
To watch. Okay, last thing that I want to cover. Got to tell you guys, I never thought that I would see a day where I would be rooting for a university above Donald J. Trump and his administration. But I don't recognize his administration right now. I don't recognize what's happening. I have a theory. I do. We were kicking around some theories earlier, me and the team, and we were going, how could Trump be such a free speech enthusiast and allowing these things to happen, going after college universities, trying to suppress speech while pretending that you're not suppressing speech, while pretending that you're fighting DEI? It's so messy. It's so obvious. Everyone knows what you're doing. People who are still trying to grift, I suppose, are not willing to challenge you on this, which is ridiculous, because when you are out of office, we are going to have to live with these consequences. Our children are going to have to grow up in this America. Okay. So when you threaten our speech, it's not worth it so that we can have pom-poms and go hurrah for a couple of years, then go, okay, well, yeah, now it kind of stinks because, we're getting arrested for wrongthink. We got David Friedman. Yeah, arrest him. Arrest Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. Get them. I love it.
So this absolutely needs to be responded to because I'm shocked that she would say this. I'm going to tell you why. It's not because she's wrong in that, okay, the radical left is going to use this as an excuse to kind of clap back and do the same thing if they manage to get in office again. But it's like, Candace, again, not an attack video, but you really got to wake up here, because Joe Biden was in office, the Democrats were in office, and they fired her from the Daily Wire. She was already under attack by the Jewish people, by Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring from the Daily Wire. She was already under attack. Her channel got demonetized on YouTube. I think it's still demonetized during the Biden administration. So they're already trying to do this to Candace Owens. They're already trying to get you, and they kind of already have been getting you. Now, she's been still successful in other ways. She still gets like a million bajillion views, which I love. But they're already doing this. They're already attacking your free speech. They got you for what you said, Candace. I'm confused. What you said got you in trouble already. So you have no free speech with the left. It's no, oh, they're going to do it back. They're already doing it to you, Candace. What are you talking about? Guaranteed during the pandemic, you couldn't say, oh, you were wiped off the face of the earth. During that whole pandemic situation, you could not say anything. When Trump was running back in 2020, that was one of the things he was running on is, hey, the Democrats are trying to stop it. Well, you can't even talk about the virus. What's wrong with these people? Candace, did you forget all of this? The Democrats aren't some free speech party. It's not going to be something where, oh, if Trump does it, suddenly they're going to do it. The Democrats already are doing it. There's not an excuse here. So I just don't agree with Candace on this point whatsoever.
Everyone can see what's happening left and right. So to give you the background, obviously after October 7th, there were tons of student protests all across the nation. Some got violent, some didn't. But what has happened is people started demanding that universities start, taking on their own sorts of definitions for anti-Semitism, particularly the IHRA new updated definition of anti-Semitism. This is Harvard received notice that they had to comply with the Trump administration's demands, okay, and essentially telling them how they would have to change things on campus. And they're, again, the administration is trying to paint this as they're coming and fighting DEI on campus, and they're not doing that. I'm going to show you it so you can see it with your own eyes. On Monday, Harvard became the first university to openly defy the Trump administration as it demanded sweeping changes to limit activism on campus. Activism is like synonymous with campus, okay? The university frames the government's demands as a threat not only to the Ivy League school, but to the autonomy that the Supreme Court has long granted American universities. They said in a quote, "The university will not surrender its independence or relinquish its constitutional rights." That's what the university lawyers said on Monday. They continued, "Neither Harvard nor any other private university can allow itself to be taken over by the federal government." The federal government says it's freezing more than $2.2 billion in grants and $60 million in contracts to Harvard unless, essentially, we are going to hold your funding unless you comply with these demands. And I'm going to show you, because Harvard has released it, what they're asking them to do. First, I should tell you they've already complied.
This is where she gets it very wrong, and I'm going to get into some details here.
With adopting the IRHA definition of anti-Semitism, which is ridiculous. But so how you have to read this is everywhere, and Skylar, if you don't mind making that a little bigger for me, everywhere that you see the word anti-Semitism, you have to ask yourself what the definition, the new definition of anti-Semitism is. Because now we're at critique of Israel, the foreign state, essentially. So as they frame it down there as the discontinuation of DEI, which would be a good thing, saying that we want people to be merit-based and to let go of DEI-based policies, that would be a great thing because that is how the nation should run. They are actually asking them to reform programs that have egregious records of anti-Semitism or other biases, telling them to look at specific programs. Scroll down, Skylar, because I want to get to them essentially just framing this as them needing to take a look at who they're even allowing to come to Harvard on foreign visas and whether or not they disagree with Israel's policies. Like you have to adopt new policies about student groups or clubs that forbid or endorse certain activities. They're talking about student groups that did not get violent, but are opposed to Israel's agenda, which is totally fair because this country is not Israel. It's not Israel. You are totally allowed to.
This is where Candace Owens is wrong, and I'm a little bit confused. And I think that, honestly, I think that she is extremely biased here because of everything that's happened. The Jewish community hates Candace Owens. A lot of the black community, but except for people like me and a few others, don't like Candace Owens. So she has a lot of enemies. The Jewish community being the more powerful enemy, I would argue, because they have a lot of money and influence. And obviously things have been going sideways for Candace because of a lot of the Jewish and pro-Israel community. So for that reason, I think she's very biased. I'm going to tell you, you got to read what it says here. It says Harvard must adopt a new policy on student groups or clubs that forbids the recognition and funding or provision of accommodations to any student group or club that endorses or promotes criminal activity, illegal violence, or illegal harassment. That's what it says. It invites non-students on the campus who regularly violate campus rules or acts as a front for a student club that has been banned from campus. So this is saying that they cannot endorse or promote criminal activity, illegal violence, and illegal harassment. And the rest of what it says here backs that further. It doesn't just change into something else where you can't speak your mind. Candace Owens here, and I'm not gonna go through this entire video. I encourage you, if you haven't seen it, to go check out her video, episode 177 on the Candace Owens podcast. Or you can see it on YouTube and Rumble. But effectively, she continues on and on here talking about how crazy it is what the Trump administration is doing, as if they're saying you just can't go and say bad things about Israel. I've looked and read this document. You can find this document on the internet because Harvard released it, and it does not say what Candace Owens is saying. So I think this is, in my opinion, is not a good look for Candace Owens. I get what people are saying, like, oh, well, the left is going to do it too. What do you mean? The left's already doing it. Don't worry about what the left is going to do. Worry about what we want to do. We don't want lunatic terrorists in America. To be honest with you, we really don't want them talking about crazy stuff, because that's kind of what leads to all this violent stuff. But at minimum, we should be able to try to limit criminal activity, violent protests, violent organizations to be, violent groups to be built on college campuses to be like this safe haven for these groups. And we're going to protect them. But the actual Jewish people, the people who got brutally attacked on October 7th, we're not going to protect. And I'm not even some pro-Jewish guy. You're not hearing me talk about the Jews in Israel on this channel. But I believe I can recognize who are the good guys and who are the bad guys. And at least here in America, whenever you look anywhere on the internet or go out in person, go to one of these campuses, walk down the street. The people who are going to be angry and violent and acting crazy is going to be these pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas people. The Jewish people are just going to be like, they hate Hamas because Hamas attacked, and they hate some of the Palestinian people for being pro-Hamas. That's really all it's about. But there's not a whole lot of Jewish people going around advocating for violence, unless you're talking about wanting to win the war, which is kind of a normal thing. Like, who doesn't want to win a war? But I strongly disagree with Candace Owens here. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Donald Trump is going too far with this whole Harvard thing? Dissent is okay, so I don't mind if somebody's like, nah, bro, I disagree with you. But let me know in the comments. You know my stance. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
Yeah, I assume you all know what's been going on these campuses. They are chasing the Jewish kids around the campuses. They are terrorizing them. They are violating their civil rights. The administration believes they have violated their federally protected rights. This all goes back to the core issue. The Ivy League schools and a lot of universities did not stand up for Jewish students when they should have, and when they were warned by the U.S. Congress last year. They should have done it then. Now they're locked in these battles now. You all say these campuses should fight back against Trump. Who are they fighting for? The people who are terrorizing the Jewish kids? I hope that's not what you mean. I think Trump is standing up for these Jewish students in a good way, and I hope he prevails.